You know the vibes. Welcome back to another episode of the Hoop Genius podcast, brought to you by NBA
Hold on, can I say it?
2K23.
Can,
Go
can
ahead,
I
go
say it,
ahead,
Mo?
go ahead, go ahead.
You know the vibes.
I thought you'd say it with more energy than that.
No,
Welcome.
I can't. I gotta be respectful. The man is down. The man is out. This is the worst day of his adult life right now. This is the worst day. I mean,
You don't know the
Mo,
half of
where
it.
does this rank? Okay, Mo, all right. Where does this rank
Okay.
as the worst day in your life as a Boston Celtics fan? Where does this rank?
Okay. As a Boston Celtics fan, it's not the worst day of my life. I think Game 7, 2010, losing the finals to the Lakers because the refs gave them so many free throws. That was probably the worst day. Or, any of the other playoff exits. Because this wasn't an elimination game.
Okay.
It wasn't, but just personally, I was having a really bad day. Like, I won't go into it, but I was having a really bad day. Do you know how bad my day was, BJ? I did something I never ever do.
Yeah.
I did something I never ever do.
Not swear.
I went to sleep.
It was that bad, Mo?
It got to about 8 p.m. and I was just like so depressed. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to sleep until the game. Usually I like working stuff or, I'll play some 2K. Whatever. I was like, I can't deal with this. Let me sleep until the game. And I went to sleep. And I've never done it. I've never in my life. Imagine this, BJ. You know me. I stay up every night watching NBA until the crack of dawn. I've never once napped before the games begin. And so I was like, no, today is just, I'm having an awful day. I got some bad news about a whole bunch of different stuff and things that are out of my control that I can't do anything about. And I thought, this is an awful day. I'm just going to go and have a nap. And then so I wake up and I wish that I never woke up because that was the worst game. Yeah. All I can do is laugh. When everything is just going wrong, going wrong, all I can do is laugh, right? It was an embarrassing game to watch. I wish I slept through it and woke up for the Denver game because I don't know. It feels like the Celtics want to just go on holiday and they just don't want to play in the playoffs and that they're ready to go home. It was pathetic. It was absolutely pathetic. They should be ashamed of themselves. Everyone wants me to like rant and shout and I ain't got the energy for it today, bro. Like I watched it. I've got as little energy to do this show today as the Celtics did to win the game yesterday, and that's absolutely zero. Like, there's only so many times I can come on here and say if your whole philosophy is to shoot more threes than the other team, you're not going to win a championship. And every time I watch them, it's true. If you make a lot of threes, you're going to win. If you don't, you lose. Is that how you want to build a championship team? You had the best defense in the league last year. That's how you got to the finals. And yet your defense today, James Harden is picking on Malcolm Brogdon, okay, in pick and rolls. And your defensive strategy is, okay, let's get Brogdon to guard him one-on-one. What the hell are you thinking? Like, it takes a lot to be this disappointed in a team, but that was pathetic. Like, where's the offense? What is the offense of this team? You watch the Warriors, even though they're losing, their process of their offense is still good. Dribble handoffs. You got guys coming off pin downs. You got different actions going on. You watch the Lakers; they've got a little flex cut to get Anthony Davis open looks when he's cutting from the corner into the paint. You watch all these teams. You watch the Denver Nuggets; they get Jokic the ball in the elbow. They run beautiful stuff off the ball, get guys open for cuts. You watch the Celtics; they just stand around. Tatum will dribble, try and get his own shot. If he can't get it, he'll pass it to Brown. He'll dribble, try and get his own shot. They can't get it; they throw it to a role player to shoot a three. Okay, what's the point? What are we doing here? This is just stupid. Like, okay, cool. You look at the adjustments from Philly. Doc Rivers did a great job. He took PJ Tucker.
Who did?
Yeah. That's how bad it's
Who did? What did you just say, Mo? Wait a minute. Let's document this. What did you do? Oh, Mo, you're really sick. You know what, Mo? That nap. What did you just say, Mo?
Yeah, Doc Rivers did a great job. He took PJ Tucker off Tatum, got him on Brown instead. So instead of Tucker guarding a guy who's moving laterally, he's guarding the guy that's attacking at the basket, cutting him off so that Jaylen Brown can't attack downhill. He's got anytime Time Lord's on the floor, he's going to have to guard Tyrese Maxey in a pick and roll where he's got to contend with his speed. He's got the picks for Harden being set higher up on the court so that it opens up space for the pass. And then you've got Joel Embiid, who's on the block rather than the free throw line, so that the help defenders is more difficult for them. You're trying to keep Embiid at the rim on defense. So instead of Embiid getting dragged up in the picks, he's staying protecting the hoop. So, great game from Doc Rivers and the Sixers. Pathetic game.
Mo, let's talk about Uncle Al. What's going on there?
He used up his powers in the last game and shot 0 from 7 from 3 tonight. He did play good defense on Embiid in some stretches, but that was really it. I mean, Jason Tatum finished with 36 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, but it wasn't a good game. I mean, 3 of 11 from downtown. Jaylen Brown only got up 16 shots in the game. He needs to assert himself more. Marcus Smart, not a great game for him. Derek White, not a great game for him. Michael Brogdon, not a great game for him. Like, bruh.
Yeah, it was a tough game.
Bro, we watched Daniel House cooking the Celtics. Daniel House was cooking the Boston Celtics.
How about that?
33 for Embiid, 30 for Maxey, 17 for Harden to go along with 10 assists, 16 for Tobias, 10 for Daniel House off the bench in just 15 minutes, 5 of 7 from the field. Ridiculous. Unserious team. How many times am I going to call them unserious?
Well, here's the thing. Well, we know this. When their backs up are up against the wall, they're going to respond. Now,
that was last year. That was last year. This year's team is not the same as last year's team. Well, today's team is not yesterday's team. What's a fact? I miss Ime Udoka.
Well, you should say, oh, no. Did you go there?
Yes. Because you can't tell me that you watch this team this year and they play with the same toughness that they played with last year. You can't watch this team this year and say that the defense is anything like it was last year. You can't watch this year's offense and say it was anything like what Will Hardy was drawing up for them last year. You can't. You simply can't. Credit to Joe Mazzulla. Great, fantastic. Happy for you. You got a contract, whatever. Not just Ime Udoka, Will Hardy as well. You've lost Damon Stoudemire as well. Your whole coaching staff is gone. So obviously it's on the players, don't get me wrong. But I'm watching this team and I'm like, what are they doing? Like Marcus Smart said in an interview that their offense is just
I sat by you. Did you forget that you and I sat with each other and we asked together, what are they doing when they just turn the ball over? Yeah. For no reason at all. They had my good friend Mo sitting there with a pen and pad documenting every turnover. And then once they got past 10, he would go, we're losing.
Well, we only had 8 tonight and we still lost. At least last year we were losing games because of things that we could control, right? We're losing games because we're throwing the ball away. We lost this game today because we're just rubbish. That's it. They were playing this as if this was a game in January.
No. How about this? Let me tell you what. All jokes aside, Philadelphia was pretty good tonight. Mo, I think Doc Rivers is listening to the podcast.
I really do. Rivers, man. Shouts to Doc Rivers.
No, seriously. Because, Mo, you and I have been both saying, and I think you agree, if Maxey or Harden plays well, if Maxey is the best player on the floor, I think it's almost impossible.
If Maxey gives you 30, you're not winning the game.
Yeah, you're not winning. No, seriously. Because he plays at such a pace. It's like you got a guy who's playing really fast, and then when the game slows down, you got a guy who's really good when the game slows down. When Tyrese Maxey when he plays this aggressive, I think it's almost impossible to beat them. They just had it clicking tonight. They figured out something defensively, Mo. The Sixers that really confused the Celtics. Really, Bo. I said it, and I just kind of said it. I didn't say it because I believed it. I still believe the Celtics are going to win the series, right? Because I picked them. I picked them. But I'm going to say that I remember in game 1, I said, I don't like this because Doc Rivers gets a game to experiment with no. Remember when I said that? Well, I just kind of and he, and then when you experiment, Mo, you be like, oh, it's kind of like playing a video game. He was like, I'm just going to try that because I know I'm not going to win on this time, but it's like a freebie and you get like a free look at the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mo, they were playing 5-out offense with Joel Embiid, and you didn't know what to do because they were like picking on guys.
Yep.
And Mo, it was, and I remember I just kind of said it, knowing that, you know what, as a coach, you know, when you can just have like a game for no reason at all. I mean, imagine that, Mo. There's no pressure on us to win game one. Our best player is not there, and we're just on the road. You're not playing in front of your home fans. And everyone's like, oh, you're going to lose anyway. Joel Embiid's the MVP. He's not going to play, and the da-da-da. So you just like totally experiment. And let's just see how they cover this. Even if it doesn't work, Mo, you get a chance to like, let me see how they cover this play. Let me see how they cover screen roll. What will happen if I put this matchup on this player? And Mo, you can't, I haven't seen the Sixers play like this all year. Maybe you have. I haven't. They were like doing things, Mo. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that, you know, like, where did Daniel House come from? Why? Like, who was telling them to push the ball like this? Like, I got to give them credit. They figured out something, Mo, and they played great. But they did play well offensively. But I'm gonna hold out for the Celtics. I think the Celtics can go there and win game 6 and then come back and finish her up in game.
Well, that's what they did in the semifinals in the Eastern Conference last year against Milwaukee. They were down 3-2, went to Milwaukee. Jason Tatum had one of his all-time games, and then they came back home and Grant Williams caught fire from behind the arc. I just don't see that happening this year.
Oh yeah, I'm holding out. I'm holding out hope. Well, I'm holding out hope for you.
I mean, don't get my hopes up. Don't get my hopes up. This series is ending in game 6.
You can't. I'm giving you a rule. When they win game 6, you can't call me. That's the only
thing. Because they're not going to win. They're not going to win game 6. You can't call me when they lose game 6. How about that? They're going to lose game 6. Like, I don't even want to watch it.
I didn't call you tonight. I showed some self-restraint.
I know. I was waiting. I got the text. I got the text.
I just checking on you. I was checking on you. Look at that. As a good friend, I was like, hey, you hang it in there? You all right? You're checking on my guy.
The answer is no. But let's talk about the other game, because that was more fun for me.
Okay.
The Denver Nuggets at home took a 3-2 series lead. Nikola Jokic, triple-double again, 29 points, 13 rebounds, 12 assists. Michael Porter Jr., 5 of 8 from downtown for 19 points. Jamal Murray put in 19. And Bruce Brown, unexpected contribution. Remember yesterday when I said the Bruce Brown game? You gave him 25.
You call that one.
Gave him 25. Devin Booker's streak of 30-plus has kind of come to an end with 28 points. 8 of 19 from the field, which is crazy.
To an end with 28.
we're expecting him to have like 40 points on 70% shooting, and now all of a sudden he has 28 on 42% shooting, 57 from downtown, and we're like, oh no, how are they going to win the game? You know, Kevin Durant though finished with 26 points, but he really struggled early on in this one.
Yeah, he did.
He struggled early on in this one. Okogie offered them nothing. Campaign, Landry Shamet, Terrence Ross, like the role players, they didn't really do what they were doing at home, which is obviously playing on the road, playing in Denver, all the altitude that we've discussed. It was tough for them. DeAndre Ayton gave them 14 points, 9 rebounds, but it was tough when the role players can't do it on the road. Unlike the Celtics couldn't get it done at home, at least the Phoenix Suns have an excuse. But great from Denver. They played some fantastic defense. They played some fantastic defense in this one. What were your takeaways?
Yeah, give Denver credit. I mean, they really met the challenge. And you know, Mo, you know, they did what a good team, what you expect from a good team. You know, they took it on the chin there in Phoenix. I'm sure they felt they had chances to win that game if they do, you know, things here and there. But you know what was impressive is they took away things from the Phoenix Suns, okay? And in particular, I thought they did a really good job on Devin Booker and a better job on Kevin Durant. And I just like Denver methodically just goes about their business. I mean, they going out there. I mean, Bruce Brown, how about that? 25 and 5 rebounds in 26 minutes. I mean, you know, I don't know what it is, Mo. I wish I could tell you why, you know, the role players play better at home. but they do.
Just the home cooking, huh?
It's the home. It's something about, it's just something about, I mean, God, you get 25 points. Jokic was Jokic. Jamal Murray was terrific. I mean, they just come out and do their thing, and it really got it done. So, give those guys credit. Jeff Green, he didn't have a lot of points on the offensive end, but defensively, I thought he did a good job, hounding KD and utilizing his size. So great win for those guys. Now let's see if they can go there and win one on the road and close this thing out, right? When you have a game 7, Mo, it's really anybody's game. Now you would say you favor the advantage of the home team, but I think this is an opportunity now for Denver to say, you know what, we've seen this team now. They beat us 2 games in a row. We came back, had a great game, and let's try to figure it out, close it out there in 6, and move on to the next round.
I see this one going 7. I think Phoenix's role players will be back, and Chris Paul says he's trying to play in game 6. I don't know how that will affect things, but I see this one going 7 games. Let's talk about tonight's games. The Heat and the Knicks. It doesn't get any more fun. The Heat and the Knicks. As you can see, I'm just trying to get through this. You are. One of my friends, shout out to JP. He called me today. He goes, you know what you should do? You should do a day in the life video, because I don't think people really understand what the hell you're doing.
You know what, Mo? I talk with you every day, and I'm interested. Like, what does this guy do all day? Like, what do you do? I know what you do, but I sign me up. I want to know what you do. Like, because it's like 4 or 5, 6 in the morning.
So let me run you through my day, right? It's 6 a.m. now. Okay. Sun's up. 6 a.m. now. We'll do this podcast, probably finishing about whenever this finishes. Then I'm going to edit the podcast. So I'm going to edit the podcast up. Then I'm going to do some freelance work. I'll do some freelance work, consulting and stuff for brands. I'm going to do some freelance stuff. Then I'll probably get an hour or 2 sleep. And then I've got a day full of meeting, doing different pitches, doing different bits of consulting for different companies. Then I'll go back and watch some more of the games from last night to make myself more depressed. Just to get a second look so that we can dive deeper into tomorrow's episode, into what went wrong as we previewed the next games. Then I have a little bit of dinner. Then I try to get a workout in. Then, try to spend a little bit of time with the family. Try to spend a little bit of time with my friends if I can. And then by that time, it's 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, midnight, and it's time to watch the games again. So that's a day. That's what my tomorrow looks like. So the time just goes by too quick.
Where's the life? I see how you you said the day in the life. Where's the life? Hey, where's the life?
Listen, I just keep working in the hopes that one day it will pay off, because that's all I can do. That's all I can do. It's tough trying to push this NBA stuff over here in the UK. It's real tough. So I keep faith that one day my hard work will be rewarded, and I'll be able to make money and have free time and, go out and do things and spend time with people I care about. But for the time being, it's very much a grind, very much a grind.
Yes.
So it is what it is, man. I get what you're saying, but what else can I do? How can I sleep when the world is still sleeping on me, BJ?
Yeah.
What else? What's my other options? What's my other options?
Now you're rapping. Well, now you're a rapper.
Man, they ain't ready for that. They ain't ready for that one, bro. They ain't ready for that. I mean, yeah. And then what I really should be doing is more YouTube videos and stuff, but just the hours in the day just ain't there yet. So who knows? Got to make TikToks.
You've already carved out 25 hours in the day. So what's another hour?
Much to the dismay of my doctor and everyone in my life. We're just going to keep it pushing. And, I hope you guys appreciate this. Subscribe to the show. Let's talk about tonight's games. Enough about me. Okay. Enough about me. The Heat and the Knicks. I expect Miami to close this one out. They're 3-1 up. We talked about the vibes with Julius Randle sounding even more deflated than me. I don't see the Knicks winning this one. I don't know what adjustment they have. I don't know what they can do. Heading back to New York, they might get a bit of a boost from the crowd, but I personally don't see it. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think this is going to be tough. And I'm sure Miami doesn't want to come back there and play a game 6. So I expect them to come out. I'm not sure what the Knicks are going to do.
Do you see Inside the NBA today?
I did not.
So Shaq said they should only pack one set of clothes. But they're only playing one game. No, they're only playing one game, right? So he's like, he was saying, it reminded me of the story that you told me. I don't know if you told me on a podcast or off air, where one of your teammates, you were going to go to a series and you had the chance to close it out, and they only packed one suit with them because they had no intention of playing the second game. It reminded me of that, and I think like that's what Shaq was going for, but he didn't realize.
It's only one game there anyway.
So I was going to say, how many outfits should Jimmy pack?
Hey Jimmy, why you got three outfits? Just because we're coming back here.
Well, I mean, the Celtics should have packed some more outfits in Philly so that they wouldn't have to take it with them. They could have kept it in the hotel when they get back there. But yeah. What about the Lakers and the Warriors though? Do you think that the Warriors? Have you seen this viral video on social media, BJ? There is a dog on a staircase, and the owner
I saw that.
The dog, and it hits it into a basket, whether it has the Lakers or the Warriors. And the dog has predicted every game in this series so far. But the dog also predicts the Warriors come back from 3-1 down to win the series. Are you rolling with the prediction corgi, or do you think the Lakers will get a job done?
Well, I'm just going to tell you what I see. I'm not counting out the Warriors. Okay, I can't count out the Warriors because because you got, if you just like Sacramento, you go, well, they look like they should, Sacramento should beat them, but whenever you say that, the Warriors come back. So, but I'm just going to say what I see. I don't see the Warriors having an answer for Anthony Davis. I really don't. I mean, I just don't see them having an answer. However, Mo, you got to beat them. So I'm just going to stick to the respect of giving the champion their respect. However, Mo, based on what I've seen in the first, what is this? 4 games? Is it 4 games now?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's 3-1 series, 4 games. I just see the Lakers being the better team, right? In particular, Anthony Davis. But if we go back to Chase Center,
that's where the game is.
Yes, for Game 7.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think I might have to take a little trip. I mean, I think that would be an epic. I think that would just be an epic game. And I can tell you what, the hype surrounding that, I think would favor the Warriors.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
I think Lakers in 6. I think the Warriors could pull out one game at home, with Jermichael Green and these guys being able to make shots because they're back home. But I don't see them winning on the road in Staples again. I just don't see that being an option. It was really interesting. I heard Draymond's podcast and he was like, Steph had an amazing game. How was that? He was like, Steph had an amazing game, but in the next one, I'll play better. Clay will play better. Looney will play. He listed every player on the Warriors except for Jordan Poole. So I don't know what kind of insight into read to that. But that was pretty interesting. But his podcast might get a big boost if they do lose, because then he's got a whole summer to do shows rather than actually play in the playoffs. So there's that. I mean, Trae Young started a podcast. Paul George has started a podcast. He had Karl-Anthony Towns on.
Trae Young has a podcast. What's he talking about?
I don't know. I haven't listened to it. It's called like the Ice Tray podcast or something.
Oh.
Pat Bev's got everyone's got a podcast now. Everyone's got a podcast, but none of them compared.
They're following you, Mo. You're a trendsetter, Mo. You are a trendsetter.
All I can say to that is I have asked many NBA players over the years when they're going to start doing content and media. And I even asked Duncan Robinson this. And 2 months later, he started his podcast. Now, I'm not saying that it's because of me, but I pitched him on the idea of starting a podcast and he thought it was a great idea, but decided to do it with JJ Redick because it's under his company. So there's that. Yeah, another day of the Hoop Genius podcast. I think the vibes on this one are the best. We're here every day, killing myself till 6 a.m. for you guys. So please subscribe. That would be great. And we'll be back tomorrow with more. And maybe we have our first conference finalist, because both the Heat and the Lakers have the chance to advance to the conference finals. And we'll see what happens. Until next time, you guys know the vibes. Get buckets, unlike the Boston Celtics.